That's right, Margaret. It's a classic American tale. You know, work hard, go undefeated, get to be national champion, right? Well, not always in college football, certainly not for TCU this year. Fans say the BCS is unfair, and now a group of economists are saying that, too, in a letter to the Department of Justice calling for an investigation. Andrew Zimbalist of Smith College helped pen the letter and joins us now via Skype. Hey, Andrew.
Good morning.
Now, you think of a cartel, you hear the word cartel, you think of maybe OPEC, you think of maybe a drug ring. How is the BCS a cartel, and ultimately, what's the detriment to consumers?
You know, I think a reasonable analogy to think about might be to think about Major League Baseball with its 30 teams deciding that only teams with a payroll of over $100 million, that would be the top 12 teams, get to participate in the postseason. Why? Because they're bigger teams, they're bigger cities, people know about them more, there's more cachet associated with them. And so if a team like Texas last year, which had a payroll under $100 million, becomes a Cinderella team, sorry, Texas, the Yankees get to play in the World Series automatically. And by the way, not only don't you get to play in the World Series, but because you're not playing in the World Series or the postseason, we're going to keep 85% of all television money for ourselves. And you have to split with your other 18 small city teams. You have to split the remaining 15%. What you end up doing is establishing a caste system. It's a caste system that's not responsive to consumer interests, because the fans in Texas, the fans in Kansas City and Oakland and other small towns, they'll never get to see their team in the postseason. And it gets reinforced over time because the rich teams get richer and the poor teams get poorer.
Sure, and if these...
Go ahead.
And I was going to say, a lot of these athletic departments that end up going to the bowls are subsidized by taxpayers. Think about UConn having to eat up over $1 million thanks to the tickets that they were forced to buy for the Fiesta Bowl. So you know, we saw the success of the NCAA tournament, you know, just about a week ago or so. What is holding up a true college football playoff system? Who are the parties involved that are gumming up that process?
Well, I think that the AQ conferences, the BCS conferences, there are 6 of them. They account for just over half of the schools in the top level, which is the FBS level of the NCAA. They're the ones who are gumming it up. They like the system they have now. They have automatic appearances. They get automatic revenue. They get automatic national television exposure. They would rather have this system than have an open system where they have to compete. Of course, there are interests aligned with them. There are media networks that have the current television contracts. There are corporations that are doing sponsorships. And it's hard to break any kind of political inertia and economic inertia that sets in really in any field. And in particular in sports. And these days, it's very hard to have the government do anything in the economy, not be accused of being interventionist and socialist.
So, realistically, do you think that the political winds sort of exist right now for this investigation? Do you think that we will see, this isn't the first time that the BCS has been caught in the crosshairs. Remember, Senator Orrin Hatch wrote a letter to the DOJ asking for exactly the same thing about 3 years ago.
And President Obama himself, shortly after his election, came out for a system. Look, now we have new evidence about corruption. Management of ECS bowls. We got the information about a month ago around the Fiesta Bowl management.